when you're trying to just do it.
Being aware is the first victory.
Yes.
But I know that I need to start somewhere.
She don't need notes, y'all.
I don't want to do anything that I feel is betraying myself.
A dumb lunatic that should fly a kite one day. Know that you're not alone. We love you. We see you.
You know, I don't have self-confidence, which means I probably don't have a lot of self-love.
The inner talk is so powerful, and
Yep.
it's not real.
Oh, you became lazy? What's wrong with you?
Because it was such a dark time in my life, like losing my mom.
Bonjour, bonsoir.
Good night. I'm Opal.
And I'm Sarah.
Yes, we're the L's. This is Real Talk. So this is our second episode of this podcast, and we call it Real Talk or the Real Talk. We don't know, but it's Real Talk.
We are basically just sitting down right now and just talking with our heart open.
Totally, absolutely.
Opal is gonna introduce the topic, and then we're just gonna talk.
Yes.
Along the way.
Today's episode, we want to talk about just do it. Just doing it. Whatever that it is for you that you need to do in order to show up for you, just do it. And we're all familiar with the phrase, right? Nike, just do it. Great branding, like, you know, everybody knows it. Just do it. But why is it that when we need to do things for ourselves, when we need to show up for ourselves, no matter how much we have, how many resources are actually there, we're not able to just do it?
Yeah, definitely. Right? We want to talk about what is holding us back.
Absolutely.
So why we're not able to do something that actually we need to do, that something that is our calling. So we're definitely gonna talk about it on this episode. And I'm excited, and we're excited, and I hope that you guys are excited as well.
All right, hi again, guys. Had to take a moment to just collect myself, just sit down candidly and openly with you guys. We're both really tired tonight, right?
Mm-hmm. We are.
Yeah, but we really want to stay consistent and show up for ourselves and for you. And we know we don't have a big follow yet. You know, we have like a couple of followers and, you know, few little engagements, and hey, we even comment on our own videos because we got our back like that, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, but we do.
Yeah, we just want to talk about like just do it, right? And why we don't show up for ourselves and do the things that we say we're gonna do. Mm-hmm. Like, why do we break promises that we make with ourselves, you know?
Yes.
And is it because we're lazy? Is it because we're making up excuses? Or is it because maybe deep down you don't feel worthy?
Yep. You don't have the confidence.
You don't feel like you're enough.
You don't love yourself in that way.
Totally. I mean, you know, and like if we loved ourselves, that's to know that we are worthy of that love, right? And so that's what we want to just like dive into.
I would like to say that you don't even have to love yourself to do it. You don't have to. You can be in the process of loving yourself and still doing it.
Totally.
Still do it.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yes.
So, yeah. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how showing up for ourselves every day, even a little bit, will make a big difference.
Totally. And then what you just said just reminded me of something. I just have something written down in my journal here. You know, I wanted to come into this a bit more prepared, and really like script things out, but I don't want it to seem robotic and weird. So if
we just want to be ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. But if I come off a little bit like robotic or weird, you know why. You know, so but I wanted what you said reminded me of this quote I saw today, and it says, You don't have to believe in yourself fully to start, just enough
Mm.
not to abandon yourself again.
Yes.
You know, you really just need a little bit of something.
Yep.
You really just need that spark. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
don't need to have a roaring fire. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to know everything. You don't have to read all the books. You don't have to watch all the self help
Mm-hmm.
podcasts and motivational speeches. You just have to have a spark.
You don't even need to have the energy. I'm telling you,
Mm.
you don't need to be where you want to be
Mm-hmm.
in order to start. You can start now.
Yes.
Even if you
Yes.
feel you have not a lot in you.
So I want to share my own personal experience with not feeling like I could just do, like I can just do what I need to do for me when I have made promises to myself and gone back on them, and have when I've broken them. And one of the things that when I look back is my music, pursuing music for what, like, I guess 10 over 10 years. It was something that I started later in my life, and you know I just had this calling to like get a guitar and
Mm.
start learning how to play and sing. I was really in a really dark and depressed place, just dealing with a lot of trauma from my childhood and just like life, um, and not really understanding and feeling lied to be honest. I started doing music because I didn't have a voice.
Mm.
I needed to figure out a way to speak the things that were going on inside of me. I needed to understand why I felt so stuck. And so when I got this feeling that I should go out and go buy a guitar, that's what I did. The next morning, I just got up, I took the last bit of change that I had, and I bought this guitar. And then next thing you know, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10 years down the road, I, found myself inching out of my comfort zone and playing in public. And I realized I had something, not just for me, but something that could serve others.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look back, I had a lot of opportunities that came my way. I started busking in the New York City subway, and a lot of opportunities came my way. I did like, I got gigs and stuff like that. I got a record deal offer from doing that.
Yep.
A call from Columbia Records, like an A&R. I ended up playing at the Apollo, making it first place semifinals. And look, I'm not bragging. I'm not bragging. What I'm saying is, through that whole process, even though I had worked on my craft and created this set of skills where I was able to convey my hardships and my emotions through songwriting, through vocals, through creating a feeling and an atmosphere for others. Countless opportunities came my way, being offered to play at the Barclays Center for the Brooklyn Nets by the Brooklyn Nets coach, but I could never take it. I never allowed myself to move forward with the opportunities that came my way. You know, um, American Idol called me twice. Um, a journalist that worked for the Times wanted to interview me. I kept finding excuses.
Mm-hmm.
I kept finding reasons why I could not. Oh man, I felt so insecure. I felt so inferior. I felt so inadequate. That's what I wanted to say. That's what I wanted to share with you. Sometimes we can't do it. Just
Mm-hmm.
do it because we don't believe in
Yep.
ourselves. We don't think we're worthy. And I don't
and we
know.
don't think that we can do it, even though if those people calling you and telling you all of that
Yeah.
wanted to give you all this opportunity, those people on the train, or even when you did show, telling you how your music is changing them,
Yeah.
even all those people telling you all of that, you still don't believe it.
Yeah.
Because you don't believe it.
Absolutely.
Has nothing to do with others, everything to do with ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's why sometime you need to go through this to understand that you're worth it, to understand that no matter how much people would tell you, like, oh, you're so talented, but if you don't believe it, that's not going to change anything. And I would like to say that you don't even have to believe it to start. That's crazy though, but you don't need to have to believe it to start. You just need to have faith. Sometimes you need to start doing something for yourself in order to like feel better. For example, I would like to say,
that's so true.
yeah, and I would like to say, self-confidence. And I cannot say that I'm confident. I don't think I am. And I know where it's coming from. I don't have self confidence, which means I probably don't have a lot of self love, but I know that I'm gonna get it. And I know that I am in the journey to get it, and I know that I need to start somewhere, and I need to show up for myself little by little to get there. Sometimes we feel, as I said, you didn't need, you just needed to say yes. Even though if you're scared, do it.
Yes.
Even though if you're uncomfortable, do it.
Yes.
Even if you feel you cannot do it, do it.
Yes. I just wanted to say that, and also sometimes it's important to, just be kind to yourself.
Yes.
Because my inner talk at the time was so dark, so negative. And when I talk about this stuff, like, I feel a lot of emotions. I actually feel quite emotional today. I just realized that my mom
It's okay, Milo.
passed, you know, April 12th, 2 years ago.
Mhm.
And I didn't remember. Um, but what I'm trying to say is, I'm grateful in a sense because, like, you see how far I've come, because
Yeah.
it was such a dark time in my life, like losing my mom. But I just
But
wanted
you're
to say,
strong. She's strong.
I just wanted to say is, like, sometimes it's like we just have to be kind to ourselves, right? Like, because the inner talk
Yeah.
is so powerful, and
Yep.
it's not real. It goes
Sorry.
unchecked for many, many years.
Mhm.
It just feels so real, right? And I'm just saying, like, being kind to ourselves, because we have to, in order to, like, do what we need to do, to just do it, you have to understand why you're not doing what you need to do.
Where it's
And
coming from.
where is it coming from? Where is it stemming from? Um like, it's just so important to understand that, because until you can address that, it might not just be a matter of just do it. It might not even just be a matter of doing it while you're tired, because something so deep and emotional,
Yes,
was blocking me, you
Mm.
know, and I wasn't able to show up. I don't think I was able to show up.
You did your best at the time.
Yeah,
You did what you could.
yes, exactly. And
Yeah.
I dealt with so much. I dealt with so much as a child, and we all
Mm.
have gone through things, and I really believe that experiences are so universal. There are some experiences that are so
Yeah.
universal, and we recycle experiences,
Yes.
you know,
We
and we
do.
might not have the exact same story. Um, but it's important that we understand our story, and we understand why we cannot show up for ourselves, why we cannot just do it, because you can push and you can push
Yeah.
and you can push
Yeah.
and you can push yourself into the ground. What if you're just exhausted?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, for real, what if you're just exhausted on an emotional, spiritual
Yeah.
plane? What if you're just like so exhausted on an emotional and on a spiritual level, just deep?
Yeah. And you just
Not to
don't
be
have it.
extra.
Yeah, no. And you no, I agree with you. And
Yeah.
you just don't have it. I think you need to go through this to be where you are now. And at the time you couldn't do it. But you couldn't do it, but it's okay.
No, because like too,
Yeah.
I was like surrounded by the wrong people. I wasn't surrounded by the good like people that I needed to be around, people that uplifted me.
Oh yes.
I had
Yes.
I
Yeah.
had blood relations, but I had no family. You
Yeah,
understand?
exactly.
Blood relations, but no family. And it's not because the family I was born in, it's not because they didn't want to be there. They just could not be there in the way that they could not be there for themselves, for me or anybody else.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to understand why you cannot do it. To be honest, most of the time it's trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's trauma
Yeah.
and triggers, and you need to start working on yourself. But it doesn't mean that sometimes you feel like as you said, you're lost and you just exhausted and you don't have it and you feel you cannot take care of yourself. But I just say, like, start by a little thing. And maybe the definition of taking care of yourself is not the right one. I'll give you an example. For many years,
Yeah.
I worked out, and I worked out in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it was like, okay, I knew what to do to have the result I wanted to have, but it was not healthy.
Yeah.
It was not showing up for myself. I didn't do that out of love, actually. I did it because I felt like, oh, I needed to get something else. I needed to change. And it was not healthy.
You didn't feel
Feel
like you were enough. So
Yeah.
you had to
Yeah.
become enough
Yeah.
by
Because
working out. And I'm going to tell you, that's toxic. If
Yeah.
you're like, the reason behind why you do something is very important.
Like,
when you go into something, you need to be intentional about it.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that you're going to feel it.
Mhm.
That doesn't mean that it's going to resonate with you in a moment, but you need to be intentional. And you
Yes.
need to be aware of why. We all need to be aware of why we do the
Yes.
things that we do.
Exactly.
Because the
Exactly.
why
Yeah.
is powerful.
Mhm.
The why will determine whether or not you stick to it or you go back on the word, or
Exactly.
you bail
Yeah.
on yourself
Yes.
again. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You can't just do it.
Yeah. And sometimes it needs to be something that is sustainable. When I start feeling my body right now, I realize that what I did for many years is not healthy, because my body hurts. And I realize, okay, take it slow. Take some time to stretch. Take some time to do some yoga. Just walk. Just take care of yourself in the deeper level. Listen to yourself. And that's why your definition of doing it maybe is not the right one as well. You understand? You talk about, how hard it was for you and your music. You said that, I couldn't do it. You can even explain why, but now you know why.
Yeah.
You know why you couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Your baggage, your trauma,
I was just burnt out. I wasn't surrounded by people that thought that that was not normal. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, I was around people that were surviving, you know, and that was my family, like my blood relations, like, the people that I was related to, I grew up with, I love and loved.
And you were surviving too.
I was surviving too, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, in fact, I couldn't be myself as a child. I had to become something else to survive. I had to become someone else to survive. And I'm pretty sure that was the case for
a lot of people.
Many people in my family, and that's the case for many people out here. And it doesn't matter if you come from a family that's like, super dysfunctional, like dealing with like economic issues, like dealing with poverty and whatnot, yada
Mm.
yada yada, like dealing with abuse, like physical abuse or stuff. It could be other things. You could come from a family that's wealthy, but
Yes, of
never really
course.
gives you the time of day,
Of
never
course.
gave you the love that you deserved just for being.
Yes.
There's so many things that we go through in life, and you're you're there. You know what I'm saying? You're there. Like you go through your childhood and you grow up in these environments, and you might have a mother that's always putting you down, like,
Yeah.
oh, you can't do anything to me, like you
Mm.
can't do anything. Oh, mommy, look, I got an A on my report card, like all A's. Oh, but I see you got, I see you got a B or a C in math. Like, people that pick at you
Mm.
because they're picking at
And themselves.
themselves.
You don't have to actually heal yourself in order to do something. To be aware and to know why you have all these triggers, why you're not doing what you're supposed to do, why you're struggling, to be aware of your trauma and where everything is coming from is such, I would say, like a first victory. To be honest, like sometimes you're like, you have all this trauma, and I always feel like, when we started this YouTube channel, I was like, wait, I don't feel like 100% my best self.
Who has all this trauma?
I say me or
You
pan.
talking in general, right?
Yes.
Oh, because not me.
Yeah. Everybody has trauma.
I'm joking around.
Yeah, okay. I was like, what are you talking
I
about?
was literally just crying about it.
I always wanted to start YouTube channel because I love YouTube. It's my favorite platform.
Yeah.
I watch so much YouTube, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna start this YouTube channel, but I need to have that. And then like I was like, look, to be honest, I am really aware of my trauma, but I still don't have the key to deal with it. I'm struggling. It really affects my life every day, and it's been hard.
Yeah.
It's been hard, but I'm aware and I know where everything is coming from. I don't have all the keys. It is overwhelming. Like I know I need to do something. I need to start somewhere. I need to show up for myself a little bit every day. Exactly. And then every day I'm going to improve. But I need to start somewhere. Even though if it feels overwhelmed, I still need to start somewhere. I need to take the first step. You don't have to be the person you want to be 100% to do really something you want to do. And you're going to learn along the way. You're going to make mistakes. It's okay if it's not perfect. For me, it's like, self-confidence, self-love that has been really hard because when I was younger, I was, dyslexic. So, and even like it was deeper than that. But when I was at school, teacher told me that, oh, you cannot graduate high school. Trust me, I graduated high school with really good grade. And then I went to college. And I was like, you know what? Even though I didn't have self-confidence though, I didn't have self-confidence. I was so hard on myself. I was not kind with myself. But I said, I'm still going to do it.
Who says that to a child? But just saying,
yeah, exactly. But people still do it, exactly.
And it's a reflection of what they really feel about themselves.
No, but I understand that. Exactly. Because nobody knows your limitation. Nobody knows what you're capable of doing, not even yourself. And I'm going to tell you.
Oftentimes, not even you.
Exactly.
Right? And what limitations there are often the ones you set, you make for yourself.
Exactly. And that's why I wanted to say that what I did, have what we call patience. Patient. Be patient. When you start something, it's going to be freaking hard. And I'm telling you, I was like, you know what? I remember I started studying by myself, not with my mom, because with my mom it didn't work. It was even harder. My mom helped me, but it was really hard because she was not the kindest to me. But it was not her fault because she was not kind to herself. And I was like, I'm going to start. So I studied. I had patience. It was really hard at first, but then I figure out how my brain worked. We all different. And then I realized that it was just an exercise.
Mm-hmm.
I exercised my brain. And then for example, in math, I always loved math. My favorite, I always loved math. At first, I wasn't good, but then I was excellent because I realized how it worked. And I start somewhere. And I have a twin brother that I love so much. Is amazing. Oh my God, I love him so much. And it was really, yeah, for him, it was really easy at first. He never had to work.
Yeah.
But then I had better grade because I worked, and I know, thanks to this experience, I know what it is to work hard. And it was not for something that I feel was for me because, I went to school, studied and everything, and it's not my passion. I want something else. But I'm so grateful because I realized that I could do everything I wanted to do.
Yeah, so you graduated from high school.
Mm-hmm. I graduated from high school.
What, going against what these teachers were telling you,
exactly,
putting her down. Like, even when you needed time for your test, they didn't want to give that to her.
But
like,
exactly.
Later on went on to college,
But
and got your bachelor.
And when I was in middle school, I realized like it was towards the middle of middle school, and then I went to high school and I was one of the best. I was really good, and not to be I was one of the best. I don't care about being the best. What I care about is improving and being the best version of myself. You understand? Exactly. But I wanted to say that people came to me and were like, "Oh, can you help me with that?" But I just worked hard. And for me, at one point, it wasn't even hard anymore because I worked so hard.
And then she taught herself to speak English.
Yes.
And then she came here at 24 by herself.
Yeah.
And 5 years later, here we are. Yes. Living in New York City together, married, everything.
Yeah. And we're doing
phenomenal transformation, not an easy road because you went through a lot.
Yeah.
And you being diagnosed as a kid with dyslexia, but like for real, talking about like the things you had to endure on a day to day. Yeah. Like you were surviving.
Exactly. And you're right. Thank you, my love. And I would like to say that the scars are here, the wounds, my love?
The wounds.
Merci. The wounds are open every day. And this experience, and it's not even, the quarter of what I had to go through, but I just want to talk about this today. This experience scarred me for years. Right now, I'm still scarred. Like, I struggle with self-confidence. And why I left and came here, I was really depressed for many years because I felt I was not doing what I had. Like, I felt like when I was a girl, I was like, you have a calling. You need to be here for a reason. I was obsessed and I was like, I need to figure out what I'm here. What am I on earth? And I was like, people are here for a reason. And I felt like, when I was at school and everything, I worked hard towards something, a goal, but it was not what I needed to achieve, but I was still working hard towards something. And I always felt like I needed to work hard towards something. And for many years, I couldn't do it because after high school, the college year were really hard. I was really depressed because I had to deal with all the trauma, and then my family dynamic was not easy. And I was like, sometimes I couldn't do it. And I was like, but you know what to do. You did it for many years. But for the years after, I couldn't do it. And I didn't understand. I was like, oh, you became lazy? What's wrong with you? You understand? Like, you are so determined. And like, everybody described me as somebody determined when they knew me. Like, you are so determined and you work really hard. But I couldn't do it. It was too painful. So I came here and it was really hard because, you every day you
didn't
go.
Just come here though. You were like working a job, like working long hours, doing overtime.
Oh yeah, and studying at the same time.
Taking care of family matters because there was a lot going on.
Exactly.
And you were carrying so much. Like, so
I was not lazy. I said you're lazy.
You weren't lazy.
No, I was working.
I understand why you said that. I was trying to say it's just like the the narrative, right, that
Mm-hmm.
is there, like, often in life as we grow, and it's
Yes.
just often that there's just this talk about like lazy people. Most people lazy, or are we just like feeling lost?
Yes, I felt lost. And
Yeah.
even though every day I was, I was waking up and doing
Mhm.
something, I felt it was not my calling. And for
Mm.
me,
Okay.
which is really hard, is when I'm not true to myself. And I said that to you today. I
Yeah.
called upon, I was like, look, I don't want to do anything anymore that is not true to myself. I don't want to portray myself anymore. And that's why, even though I was working towards all the things, for me, it was not my calling. So I was like, when I was a little girl, I was like, you need to figure out what you're here for. You cannot. And I felt like I was wasting time, but I was not wasting time. I needed to go through this and understand why I was feeling that way, like you were feeling that way when you couldn't take opportunities.
Yeah.
You know why you have this blockage. And when you do,
Yes.
please
Dig
start. Yeah.
Dig deep.
Yeah, exactly. When you do, trust me, even if you don't figure out how to heal yourself, you don't have the key, you don't have the energy, still start something for yourself. It could be a little thing.
Yes.
Start something. Do something that you feel you're showing up for yourself every day. And I don't talk about doing something for hours.
Yeah.
I can talk about taking 3 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, and thinking, what do I have to do to be in a better place? You understand?
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted
Absolutely.
to say. And je t'aime.
Just,
Trop belle toi. Look at this
Yes.
beauty, for real. First of all, this woman is amazing.
Look at this.
She has
gorgeous,
so much
gorgeous,
wisdom.
this
And
gorgeous angel.
who
Today I'm
can?
feeling a little bit off, but I just wanted to sit down with Sarah
Yes.
and talk to the camera, talk to you guys.
We don't want to go in front of you guys and pretend. We're not here
No.
to pretend.
No, we're not.
I don't want to show us only in our best day.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell you we figure out everything. No, we are figuring out right now.
Exactly.
But we want to take you along with us in the journey. Oh mon dieu.
Oh,
I can tell that my
see
back
that?
been hurting.
That's
My
stress.
yeah, it's a lot
That's
of
trauma right
have
there.
a lot of body pain. And it's okay, we'll talk
I
about
don't know
it.
if you heard that pop.
Yeah,
when she
definitely.
Yeah.
But I want you to come with us in this journey. To be honest, I am a little scared to show myself raw because I am really hard on myself and it's hard to watch, watching yourself. I know it's not your case, but it's been really hard for me. But I don't want to hide anymore. And I want to learn how to love myself. And I want to take you guys along with us.
Yes.
I don't want to
What are you
lie.
drinking, baby?
So I want to get a culture pop. And this one is the black cherry.
That's our second can, tonight. But that's not something that
It never,
that's
no,
not something
it
that
never
happens
happened.
often.
Yeah, maybe it
and
happens once in a
I'm
while.
drinking this I'm drinking this Koya fruity cereal protein shake, and it's like a treat for me, a little snack for me. I feel like I'm indulging. What I want to just share with you is, although I spoke about my past, I spoke about not being able to like just do it when it came to my music, and seeing like and having all of these opportunities surround me, but not being able to ever grasp it, having people show up and tell me like,
was not the right
don't
time.
don't
Was not
stop,
the
like
right time.
yeah, like people listening to me perform crying, like and that was regular, like, to be honest.
You guys, let me tell you something. You're gonna hear her singing in her song, because I will not let that not happen.
Yes,
She is phenomenal. I'm not joking.
Thank you. But so, although I can look back and say those things to you and feel emotion about it, I'm not in the same place. I'm not in the same place. You know, I think really at the root of not being able to just do it is not feeling like you're good enough, not feeling like enough, not feeling like you're worth it. You're worth it.
Yes.
You're not worth it, right?
You
That's
deserve
you
it.
you deserve it, right?
Capable.
Yeah, not feeling like you're capable of doing whatever it is you're trying to do for you, whatever it is
Yeah.
you love to do, but you just can't just do it.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Yeah.
once upon a time, I just didn't feel like I was adequate. I didn't feel like I was worth it. I have been told that so many times.
That you believed it.
Yes. I didn't know really anything else. So here I am, you know, after years just in my bedroom. Like I spent a year in my bedroom mostly just working on teaching myself how to play the guitar from YouTube, teaching myself how to sing, teaching myself how to write songs.
But that's a gift because you have a gift.
Thank you.
You worked hard on your gift, but you're gifted.
Yeah, and I guess in a sense I just did it, right?
Yeah.
Like I did that. And
you're excellent because of that.
But I was never able to I was never able to, back then at the time, I wasn't able to give it my all. Like I wasn't able to commit in the way that I should have, because I didn't feel like I was worth it. I did not think I could do it, although I dreamt of it, although I loved the idea of me being able to take that music and go places with it, like where I saw it going, where I dreamt it could go, But a lot of that years down the road, when everything was said and done, a lot of that had to do with me also not even knowing who I was, so that I wasn't even dreaming a dream that was actually from me, for me.
For you.
From me, for
because
me.
You were not surrounded by the right people as well.
That too, definitely that's a part of it, but I didn't know myself.
Yeah.
I did not know myself. So although I will always love music, it is my love.
And you're phenomenal. When she sings her song, is God. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm not joking. And I told her we're gonna record
you.
her music and we're gonna put it out there because you were not supposed to do it the way you am. You need to do it in a different way.
Oh yeah. At the time, I did not know myself enough to recognize why I couldn't just do it, to recognize what it is that I really wanted, to recognize opportunities and people that actually aligned with me. Because I couldn't recognize anything around me because I didn't recognize myself. You understand? I didn't recognize anyone. I didn't know who was in my circle. Although growing up as a kid, I always had this underlining, this feeling. I knew, nah, this is not right. This is not the best environment, and I always wanted to escape that. But when you just don't know yourself, you can't just show up and just do it.
Exactly.
And so I was pursuing music, kind of, sort of, and people thought I was amazing, but I didn't feel amazing. Thank you. Thank you. But I just felt this thing inside of me, something so big inside of me, this power, this purpose, this meaning. But it just wasn't in alignment with what I was told I should be pursuing, right? And that doesn't mean that anyone in my circle said, hey, you need to pursue this, because no one encouraged me to really go out and buy that guitar, although my mother always put us in the arts and encouraged us to do artistic things, and that was probably the catalyst that put me on that road eventually. Everything that I had seen and witnessed around me left an imprint on me, left an impression. And I thought that I had to pursue music in the way that everyone sees people perceiving music.
That wasn't
pursuing music, and it wasn't don't get me wrong, I loved performing because I love people and I love connecting with people. I love y'all, but just stay over there. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is. I love people, but I also am a very private person, and I don't allow anyone to just anyone to be in my space, my private circle. But pursuing music in a way that, oh, like, I'm gonna be this pop artist, I'm gonna get on stage, like sell out Madison Square Garden, and like, be this pop idol. And it just didn't make any sense because my personality, it didn't match that. Like, who I am and my values didn't match. And so I couldn't understand why I couldn't just do it. And that's why earlier I said your why is so important. Knowing your why is so important. Why you're going to do something and why you're not going to do something. Why are you not able to just do it? And nobody can tell you that. And you might not have the answer now.
Oh, that's true.
You might not have it later, but you need to know why. And sometimes you're going to, like, I'm gonna just be real, you're gonna have to like force yourself to do things. If you're in a really bad place, you'll have to force yourself to do little things, and it's going to be painful. It's going to be very uncomfortable. You might feel like you're bursting at the seams. You might feel like you're yay deep, head on the water. Gotta find a way, right? She bored with me.
No, I'm not bored. I agree with you.
You have to find a way, and eventually those little things that you do for yourself on a regular basis, consistently, daily, it could be something little. It could be journaling, which can be so powerful. Like, I've never like really had a journal that I stuck to and wrote out, because my music was that for me for over 10 years. I wrote songs. I wrote many, 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 many songs.
And that was sometimes your therapy.
Every day. Yes, and that's how I spoke about the things that I didn't know I was carrying. Like, understanding your why is really important. Understanding the why of why you're going to do it this time around.
And what you're going to do.
Yes.
Because maybe it was not, sometimes you think you need to do that, but it's not what you are meant to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
When you're not doing something and you're like, why am I doing? I'm not doing it. Maybe it's not the thing you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes, exactly.
Maybe it's something else, but
maybe you need just, not in alignment with who you are. How do you know what you really want for yourself until you know who you are?
Yeah,
until
who you
know
are,
yourself.
Yeah, who you are, and deal with your past, deal with your trauma, understand your triggers.
Just surrounding yourself with people, good vibes, like, people that really are real, like, and understand themselves a bit.
Being aware. That's it.
Yes.
You don't need to know how to deal with everything, just be aware. Being aware is the first victory.
That's right. That's totally right.
I cannot come to you guys and say, I know what I need to do to be healed. No. But I'm aware of what happened. I'm aware of why I am like this sometimes, why I am triggers, and I have some triggers, sorry. And I am happy for that. But I know that I need to start somewhere. I don't need to have all the answer. I just need start somewhere and do things until you realize what you really have to do. I'm gonna turn 30 in August. And sometimes, we often say that the 20s are really hard, and I agree. My 20s were really hard.
Wild and all over the place.
I am proud of where I am now, because
Although I think you're very mature.
Yeah, and I'm proud of where I am now, because even though I always felt like I didn't achieve what I wanted to actually achieve a lot. And now I know that I am fully ready to do what it takes to do really what I have to do, and whatever it takes. And it's hard. And we didn't talk about people pleasing, but I would like to say that we both suffer for people pleasing. And every day I'm trying to tell myself, okay, you need to show up for yourself today. You cannot people please today. The only person you have to please is yourself. You need to give it to yourself. And this thing is deep. you know. And today I had a conversation with you and I was like, look, I don't want to do anything that I feel is betraying myself. And sometimes you cannot quit everything. For example, be like, oh, I don't want to do this job. And sometimes I feel like this job is so not in alignment of who I am. But right now I need to keep it because financially I need to have the money.
Yes.
But I'm saying at the same time, you can figure out what you have to do for yourself to get out of this situation, get out of this job, get out of this relationship. I don't say that you need to do it now, but you need every day to improve, to get closer to your goal. And you don't even need to know the end goal. It always evolve, you know?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
every day show up for yourself a little more. I'm saying learn how to take care of yourself
Yes.
in the deeper level. And I feel that my journey now in my 30s to take care of myself in a way I never did before. Because I realized that if I don't, that will cost me so much because I'm not 20 anymore. I'm not 20, I'm 30. And even though, you know, I want my
She's
body.
not even 30, y'all.
No, I know I'm not even 30, but I'm saying that I feel a different. I cannot abuse myself the way I abuse myself in my 20s.
Absolutely.
Because my body cannot take it. And to be honest, I want to feel healthy.
Yes, absolutely.
That's who I am. Like, if I don't feel healthy, if I don't feel good in my body, it's not who I am.
It's really
Feeling good,
important
yeah,
to
take care of you.
of
Yeah,
yourself. Like, this is
yeah.
your vehicle. If
Mm-hmm.
you're not oiling it, you're not putting in the gas, you're not taking the
Yeah.
time to take care of it, you think your shit's gonna break down on the
Oh
highway. And then
yes, yes.
what? It's game over.
Yeah.
Nah, we're not
And
about
yeah,
we're not about to do that.
exactly,
You know?
exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like when I was younger, and I am still young, I don't think 30, 40, 50
No,
is young.
you're
I am
baby.
really young, but I'm
She's
saying
baby.
I am a baby, but I'm saying the way I abused myself in the past, I cannot do it because I realized the way feeling healthy, feeling good, taking care of myself is a way of showing up for myself. And if I don't do it, I'm just gonna lose myself. I want you guys to look at yourself and just tell yourself that you're proud of you. Being proud of what you achieve, being proud of you,
Just look
it's
back
really
and see the things
important.
that you have achieved.
Yeah.
Oftentimes.
And you still here.
Yeah, absolutely. Oftentimes we like to diminish the accomplishments we have, and diminish the progress we've made. But those small wins, when they accumulate, that becomes your biggest win or some of your biggest wins. We can't downplay it. You have to take a moment to pause and congratulate yourself for the progress you have made.
That's self love.
That is self love.
It's the first step of
And
self
it's probably
love.
going to feel really weird and even toxic at first. If you're not used to it, it just feels so weird.
Yeah.
Feels so forced. But you gotta understand that voice in your head, it's not real.
Oh mon Dieu.
It's an illusion, and it's just conditioning. It's your
Yeah.
it's your surrounding, it's your environment.
Yes.
And if it says that you're a dumb lunatic that should fly a kite one day, that doesn't mean that you should fly the kite.
Yep.
And it's okay. And I learned this through meditation. It was like 2 years ago. I was really meditating a lot, and I had been meditating for like 2 years up until that point,
Yeah.
on and off. But what meditation taught me is that it's not about controlling everything. It is
I should
being
say that to myself.
present and aware to just witness.
Yes.
Witness what is going on. Are you present enough? Are you aware of yourself and your environment? Are you aware that that voice in your head is telling you that you're not worth it when you're trying when you're trying to just do it? Are you aware? Accept it. Accept it. Just let it be. Let it be and just do it.
Oh my God, that's for me too.
Yes, accept it, because that energy that you're going to take to fight it, it's going to get in your way.
Oh
It's going
mon
to
Dieu.
exhaust
I feel
you.
like you're talking for me though.
Yeah, well,
Too. Like I think you're talking for a lot of people, but
I,
I feel that.
I'm talking for all of
Yeah,
us,
I feel that.
really. I'm talking for us all, like,
Mm-hmm.
that don't yet understand that. Just let it, accept it, be here, be present, be aware. That's all you
Mm-hmm.
really need. That
Yeah.
is the life hack. Be
Yes.
aware,
Mm-hmm.
because everything else will come after that.
Yeah, being aware and one
Yes.
step at a time. Even
Yes.
if you feel it's not, this voice in your head is not going away, and I'm talking out of
Yeah.
experience right here, you know,
Mm-hmm.
just do something.
Exactly.
Just
Yeah.
take the first step. Even if you're so unconfident, even if you're so hard on yourself, even if
Mm-hmm.
it's killing you, do it.
Yes. Just pace
Do it.
yourself, especially if you know who you are, you know yourself better
Mm-hmm.
than anyone else. If you feel so worn out and burnt out that you just feel like you're running on fumes,
Yeah.
don't put yourself in a situation that's too much for you.
Yeah. Well, that's why I
Take,
said one
yes,
step at a time.
one step at a
Yeah.
time, take it small, but I'm also just trying to point to our own, like, inner compass, right? Though that feeling your body and understanding what your body needs and what your body can take and
Yes.
what it cannot take, because that should also dictate you just doing
Yeah.
what you have to do, like,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just balance, when it's possible, is very necessary.
Exactly.
It's very
That's so
necessary.
true.
You don't want to put yourself, because if you're coming from a place where you're dealing with stress, chronic stress, trauma, and you
Just
you
killing
you
yourself.
don't feel like you're worthy, and
Mm.
and and it's likely because of all of these experiences. We don't just, like, wake up and just feel unworthy.
Of course.
No, we were often beaten into submission some way, somehow, maybe verbally, maybe physically for others. There's just many ways that we find ourselves in this corner. And then one day you look back and you don't even know where it ends and where it started.
Yep.
So, understanding when you do just do it,
In a
yes,
healthy way.
incrementally,
In a healthy
listen
way.
to your body, and
Exactly.
and take small little steps, right? And monitor, like, measure the level of stress and anxiety you are feeling, because you're
Mm.
going to feel totally out of element. You're
Yeah.
going to feel overwhelmed, but you don't want to be so overwhelmed that it just absolutely smacks you down.
Agree.
Like, you don't want
Mm.
to be so
Yeah.
overwhelmed that
And think, yeah.
yeah, it just,
Mm.
cortisol levels all over here, that, and, like, no, you don't
Yeah.
want to be like that.
And think of your health. Think
Yes.
of your health.
Yes.
Because I'm saying, like, think of your health.
Yes.
You need to learn how to do things in a healthy way. Because at the end of the day, if your body is quitting on you, if your body is saying something, if your body is in pain, if you're not feeling good, it's for a reason. Listen to your body.
Totally.
Listen to your body and learn how to
Mm-hmm.
improve little by little
Absolutely.
without too much pressure. And I know it's hard, but just try your best. And even if you fail on doing it, try it. The day after, try a little harder. Just try, you know? And I am talking like that because, as I said, for many years, I felt like I still did things, but it was not the things that I was supposed to do. But I
Yes.
needed to do those things to understand what I needed to do. You understand?
Absolutely.
And to understand that, okay, now I want to do things and honor myself, honor my body, pour into myself in the way I never did it before. And it's gonna take me years. It's not gonna happen in one day to learn how to do those things.
Absolutely.
You know?
And it's not even about, and we hear it all the time, and it's super cheesy, right? Along with many other things that are, like, just universal law, in my opinion. And um, it's not about the destination. Really and truly,
Mm-hmm.
it isn't. And it's very hard for, I think, many of us to even understand that, even when we understand it, right? It is very much so the journey. So you need
Yeah.
to figure out a way that you can do small things for yourself, gauge with how much
Mm.
stress it puts on you. Check in with yourself. Come to a place where you are doing little things for yourself. Naturally, that will grow.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to say is like, yes, it is not about the destination, it is the journey. So
Yeah.
just
Honor your.
doing little things
Yeah.
that can make your life more beautiful, more meaningful,
And I
so
will
that
say,
you're able to
yeah.
enjoy the journey.
And
You
honoring yourself along the way.
yes, honoring yourself along the way. Like if you feel like you're often not here present because you're in the future or you're in the past, try to stay here right now. Here and right now.
Mm-hmm.
Do something little for yourself.
Today.
Do something today for yourself. It doesn't matter how little, you are capable. And focus on creating a life for yourself that you don't have to be focused on what is to come or
Mm-hmm.
what has passed.
Yep.
Because what the life that you are living today is beautiful. And maybe it's beautiful because of a small act, a small thing that you did for yourself. It could be you taking that bath that you need to soothe your sore muscles because you've
Yeah.
been on your feet for like 7, 8, 10 hours plus straight.
Yes.
You understand? So just understand that one day we will all get there. We'll arrive.
Yes.
Maybe we won't all arrive to our destination, right? That's the honest truth, right? But that should not be the focus of your life. You need to be here because
Right.
you're not here for nothing. You are
For a
here
reason.
because you have a purpose.
Yeah. Everybody has a purpose.
Everybody has a purpose, and it sounds really
Mm-hmm.
woo cheesy and all of that, but everyone has a purpose, and we have to learn to be here and right now. So some of the ways that I was able to do that for myself was through meditation.
Prayer too.
Prayer as well, like, to be honest. But for me, at first it started with meditation, and just being still, swimming. I did that for a year, just swimming. I swam like almost 90 days straight.
Yeah.
Every day I was swimming because being in a body of water can just be so healing, and the quiet that comes when you're under the water is like no other. You just need a moment to be still.
Yeah. And find what works for you.
Absolutely. I was once there.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't believe that I was worthy. I believed what I was told, and
yes,
I'm not there anymore. I'm really not there anymore. I just want to say that there was times where I was doing my music and I was always thinking about what other people thought about this song. I was such a perfectionist, always wondering what other people were thinking about me, what other people thought about my music, my craft, like just everything that I was doing. What would happen if I put this out? How would people receive that? How would people perceive that? How would people receive me? How would people perceive me? But I'm not there anymore. And I just wanted to say that, you know, getting to a place where I chose myself really changed everything.
yes,
It really changed everything. And it was at a time where I felt like I could not choose myself. I didn't even know what the hell it meant to choose myself. Actually, I didn't even know I was choosing myself in the moment. But now that I look back, it's clear as day.
And you are, because I
Yeah,
see it every day. You
well,
are choosing yourself.
well, thank you, but I mean, like, back then, and I'm just saying, like, that was the big difference for me. And that was how I was able to overcome a lot of that. And I'm not saying that I won't deal with that throughout life, because we all have triggers. And no matter how healed we are, there will be situations, there will be interactions where it will come up. And you'll be like, didn't I deal with that already?
Yeah.
Like, didn't I spend 2, 3, 4, 5 years like grinding and just working on myself? And that is okay. That is okay, because like I said, right, we just need to be aware. Like you said, we need to be aware. Don't fight it. Let it be. Yes. Right? And just remember the things that you have been doing for yourself, all those small things that have grown. Yes. You know, all those things that make that journey worth it. Yeah. For me, that's what it was. And that might not be exactly what it is for you. It might be some other process. It might be you saying no to somebody. Yeah. It might be you like figuring out how to not be a people pleaser. It might be you putting yourself in a situation that takes you outside of your comfort zone. It might be you asking for a raise. It might be you saying, you know what, I'm going to go after these things that I want to do for me. So it's just, it's the same like destination, but the road doesn't always have to be the same and won't always be the same. Definitely. So I think we both hope that this video, that this podcast, this whatever, like, you know, this episode resonated with those,
you.
Yes, that it needs to reach.
Definitely. We just were really sincere and true with you guys. As always, we just like open our hearts to you guys and spoke with our heart.
You know, there was something, like it brought value, and there that it gives you that spark,
insight as well. Yeah,
that insight, and maybe that insight can fuel, just make that spark in you, because that's all you need is just a spark. Yeah,
and give you a little strength to do it. Hope what we said and our talk brought you a little strength. Just a little strength. Just ask yourself this question: what can I do today for myself?
And know that you're not alone.
I have faith in you guys, and I'm telling you, the only person that can stop you is yourself. And I said it many times. You are capable. If somebody's telling you you're not capable of doing something, they are talking to themselves, not to you.
People only say things to you like that because that's what they believe about themselves. Nobody's going to tell you that you can do these amazing things if they don't think they can do amazing things.
Exactly.
And it might not be even the most grandiose thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It might be whatever the hell it is you're interested in doing. But people often reflect, especially people that are unhappy and miserable.
Yeah. That's why
they often reflect their insecurities onto others.
Exactly.
So be careful who you ask for advice. Be careful who you're taking, whose word you're taking and running with it and allowing it to dictate your life and how you live it.
Yeah, and you have the strength. I'm telling you, you have it. It's here. You can do it. The only person that can stop you is yourself. Don't listen to people. Don't even listen to yourself. Just try. And I'm talking for myself here. I'm telling you, many times I didn't listen to myself.
Yes.
I just tried. And I did my best. Even though I wasn't kind to myself, but I still tried. I'm telling you, you can do it.
Because at the end of the day, you are stronger than your thoughts.
You're really strong.
And so
you're really strong.
I want us to close this out and just say that one, you're not alone, and two, like we said, I hope this brought some value to those that are in need.
And we love you guys. I know it's crazy.
We love
but
you.
But we want to give as much, like here, we want to spread love and give as much love.
That's not crazy.
It's not crazy, but we feel you. Yes. Because we went through it. We are going through it. We feel you. You're not alone.
Yes.
I am telling you, we can do it all together. People need to be more aware.
Totally. And I also want to just say that I don't feel inadequate anymore. So, that could also be another podcast, another conversation, really, because that's a whole thing, you know, to really get into it and to really dive into it. But yeah, I don't care what people think.
Oh yeah,
like,
let me tell you something. One
on
thing,
myself,
yeah,
and
she is. Écoutez-moi.
yeah,
One thing I learned from her: she is not gonna apologize for who she is. She is who she is.
Well, no one should have to apologize.
But I love that, and that's something that inspires me. She is herself, and herself is beautiful, and that's something that inspires me. She doesn't care what people are thinking. She's not gonna apologize for who she is because she's full of life. And I'm saying sometimes you're like, oh,
sorry.
I'm scared, but I'm scared of like showing who I am, what people will think. Trust me, you're so unique. Just be who you are. And I'm telling you, people are not looking at you, they're looking at themselves. They're not judging you, they're judging themselves.
Ain't nobody cares.
Exactly, nobody cares.
The ones that got something to say, they ain't focused on the right thing, which is them. Everybody needs to just focus on themselves.
Yep.
That will heal the world. And if you have any questions for us, or you have similar struggles and you've dealt with not being able to just do it.
Yeah. We want to hear you guys.
Yes, we want to hear you. We want to know if this is even resonating with you.
Please share your experience.
Yeah, share your experience and just comment below. If you enjoyed this, like the video because it really helps us out. Subscribe if you feel like you vibe with us and you feel like you can get some value. As we said, we just started, but we really have the intention to bring quality and come from a place that is real. Just be in service to others, because that's so important for me. I feel like there's nothing else that in life really to be like, we have to show up for ourselves, absolutely, but I feel like we have to show up for ourselves so we're able to show up and serve others. But that's just me. If you like this content and you vibe with it, click that little bell and make sure you get, so that way you can follow us on this journey. Subscribe, comment, because that really helps us out, this channel, because we're really small. We're just starting out, but we're here for the long haul. We're so excited. We're ride or die.
Yeah, you might ride or die.
But we ain't about to die. All right, guys.